Hi, I'm Vail Johnson. I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington by my Swedish parents who grew up in the Swedish neighborhood called Ballard, and I come from a musical family. My mom and my 5 older brothers are all in the music business. 2 of them still make a living at it. One brother's in the Seattle Symphony, another is a music professor at a university. And so, being the youngest, I came up with music was in the house, being played all the time. And so it wasn't a question of, you know, were you going to be a musician? It was basically, what instrument are you going to play? You know, because everyone played and was really proficient. We would practice, everybody had, you know, the right feel for it. So I started on trumpet and was in the 4th grade orchestra. It was very exciting. I was known for being one of the best sight readers. I learned the music theory part of it really well, so I could sight read anything that was, you know, up through high school, you know, that was appropriate for the age, as well as having one of the most obnoxious, awful tones on the trumpet. It was terrible. It was like Wounded Animal, bad. But I could hit the right notes. They just sounded terrible. But I could read them, so I usually got first chair, but the tone, it was bad. It was really bad. So when I was 13, I switched over to playing bass. Actually started before that. I played, we picked up the acoustic guitar that we had laying around the house, and but I was drawn to the bass lines, and when I heard the Beatles, and I was just playing the bass parts. It was way more interesting to me. I mean, when I heard the music, the Beatles music, I heard the bass lines just jumped out at me. It wasn't like I didn't care about the vocals, really didn't care about the guitars. The bass just sung, and Paul McCartney's lines were so lyrical. I guess that was enough for me. I heard the bass lines, and so I started playing, trying to figure out the little bass lines on the acoustic guitar when I guess I was, you know, 8 or 9 at that point, and did that for a while I was playing trumpet. But 13, my dad bought me a bass and an amp, and locked myself in the basement and practiced, and just recently came out. I've been doing that the whole time. No, I played a lot. I just couldn't stop playing. I loved the bass, everything about it. Started playing in all the Led Zeppelin cover bands, you know, in junior high and high school. And I know Emerson, Lake and Palmer was huge for me. Yes, and then Kansas came a little after that for me. After being in the rock bands and doing that sort of stuff, when I heard Tower of Power was a big influence because that was so different. The syncopation was something I hadn't heard before, because I grew up in a very white, very Swedish neighborhood. Nobody played, you know, R&B of any kind. I didn't even know what it was, but I knew when I heard it, it was really appealing. I couldn't believe it. But the kicker was when I heard Larry Graham in college. I heard somebody was playing it at a party, a record, you know, remember those? Big vinyl. They played that, and the whole party just stopped for me. I went running to find the record player. What is this music? He was playing this. He was doing that. And I was, what is that sound? It's unbelievable. And how do they do it? And why? You know. So at that point, I got all of Larry Graham stuff, the Graham Central Station, and the Sly Stone, you know, that came before that, and just dove headfirst into the thumb bit, and never stopped. That feel just was really appealing to me. So did that up through college, joined a band, quit college to play music full time because that was really way more fun. And in a band with a couple of my brothers. We were playing actually Dixieland and bluegrass. They both played banjo, and it was Dixieland bluegrass stuff, and it was really fun. It was an exercise in ear training because I didn't know the music, but they would call out tunes, call the key, and he'd be giving me number signs for the chords, and I'd sit there, oh, okay, I was 18 or whatever. So that was my first professional job. Loved doing that. Played in Holiday Inn bands for probably 10 years. Holiday Inn type things, 5 nights a week, clubs, endless road trips up and down the West Coast. And I met the percussionist at that time for Kenny G, a guy named Tony Gable. Is a graphic artist. I came to him to design a logo for a pop project I was doing. I was going to be a pop singer, and I didn't even know, he was just recommended for his graphic design. I didn't even know he was had anything to do with Kenny. But he came down and saw me play and said, man, this is one funky white dude. He told Kenny, he says, you got to go check this guy out. So Kenny came down to this sleazy bar I was playing out in Seattle and liked what I was doing, asked me to come down and do a couple sessions for him for one of his records. I played with him, and then he asked me to join the band. This was back in 1986. Been working with him ever since, in addition to doing a lot of different things like playing with Herbie Hancock for a tour or two. I played on Paula Abdul's records. I played on stuff like Stevie Nicks, and I've done a few Nashville things. It was really fun. I did Kathy Tricoli down here in Clay Cross, Church of Rhythm, and kind of brings me to the present day. Been in LA for 20 years and getting pretty tired of it. Looking to move to Nashville, looking at homes, and really enjoying Dave and Heidi's hospitality here. And I think I'm going to make this my next home for a long time. It's going to be here, so that's where I am today.